All right. Hey guys, Happy New Year. This is LaShot from Scarlet Moon Creations, and this is video 4 in my 2020 end of year reading videos. I've already posted my least favorite books of the year, my most disappointing books of 2020, my most surprising books of 2020, and now here we are with my most favorite books read in the year of 2020. I have 5 books because they're all awesome. I had a pretty good reading year. It was a struggle at times, um, even outside of the effects of COVID-19, the coronavirus, but I enjoyed the majority of what I read. I did struggle a lot to come up with those most disappointing and least favorite books. But you saw I had a couple of surprises, and I had a struggle coming up with my most favorite. I honestly just had to eventually say 5 stars only, and then even though I didn't give out a lot of 5 stars, I still narrowed it down to like what brought me the most joy. Um, so these were well written, my type, uh, having all the tropes that I enjoy and finding new ones, but also had some twists and turns I wasn't expecting, and lastly, just gave me good feelings. Um, so with that, let me stop hyping them up and talk about the books that were my favorites. First up, and again, these are in no particular order except maybe chronologically read, I think. Yes, these are in chronological order only because I took them from my reading list, which is in chronological order. So I just wrote them down as I came across them. So, and please excuse any background noise you hear. That's my radiator because it's cold. Now, first up, we have Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 3 in the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy, and oh my god, the emotions. Every time I even think about this book, I tear up. This had me in a book coma for a good month afterwards. I couldn't talk about it because I couldn't be coherent. And I'm still, even now, I read this earlier in the year, and even now, I'm just like tearing up. Where's my tissue? These are sad tears, these are happy tears. And then I didn't get the who was the chosen one at the end. I wasn't expecting that, but it made sense. No, it's not that I wasn't expecting it. I was not sure who my final pick was. It was between this person and 2 others. So, um, but yeah, like I have no complaints about that book. That was like how there's no other ending that will ever be that satisfying. None. Like everything was wrapped up, which is why Mistborn Secret Histories later on was a huge surprise. So, next book, The Queen's Bargain by Anne Bishop. No one is surprised. This was a book this was on my anticipated releases for 2020 list, and I loved every second of it. Let me tell you, no book is perfect. Maybe Hero of Ages. No book is perfect, but I love the Black Jewels series, and I wasn't expecting that we would come back to it. And Bishop had said she's basically done with this series a long time ago. Occasionally, she would put out companion novels, with characters that might not necessarily be the ones we know and love, but people in the world, because the world is great. But oh my god, we're back. We're back with Damon. We're back with Lucifer and the kids and Surreal. And I just, ugh. And I'll be honest, I like darkness in my reading. I not all the time, but I like it. I like taboo things. I like angst and struggle for my characters to go through and develop from. And after the original trilogy, things weren't as dark and as angsty because it felt like the big bad was defeated. But since it's not a person but an idea or kind of a way of life, it never really goes away and can crop up again. So here we are, and oh, my only disappointment with this was I was like, I wanted more details when Lucifer and Damon went to town on these places, because I wanted more detail for how things go down. But I have since heard that, because, and I knew this was going to happen because the way this book ended, that there was going to be more. But I did check, and the next book is on my 2021 anticipated releases, so there will be more, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I love this world. I love these characters. I'm loving the kids and the siblings. Is she like a cousin or something? I don't remember. But I am enjoying it so much. So, yes, love this book. Third book, Blanca y Roja by Anne-Marie McLemore. This is the second book by her I've read. This is a magical realism book. Kind of a retelling based on The Wild Swans, which was on my least favorite book of the year, and Snow White and Rose Red, another fairy tale. Wow, I loved When the Moon Was Ours, and I love this. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna like Anne-Marie McLemore's books because, yes, I love the touches of Hispanic culture, even though it's not my culture. There's just, I mean, there are similarities between the various Latin and Central American and Hispanic Islander countries, and that kind of makes it always feel like home. But yeah, there's also, and then, you know, the issues that they deal with as immigrants in the United States. I like the retelling aspect. I love the sisters Blanca y Roja and Roja. The book is Blanca and Roja, but I just, their names are in Spanish, so why wouldn't Anne be in Spanish? So Blanca y Roja is why I keep saying that. But it's Blanca and Roja. The ampersand is on the book if you're confused and trying to figure out what I'm talking about. The atmosphere is amazing. There's just enough magic and it makes sense. I think I actually like this more than When the Moon Was Ours. This was slightly lower on the magical aspect. But, and then the boys, oh, they were interesting too. So we kind of had 4 main characters, and it was just like, wow, the family aspect, just, there was so much to love. And then I read it in the fall, and it was kind of set in the fall, so it was perfect. I didn't do that on purpose, but it happened, and I loved it. I read that for a prompt for Becca's Bookopolython as well, so enjoyment. Alright, the next book, American Like Me, by America Ferrera and a dozen other celebrities, politicians, people that she knows as friends or that she looked up to. And this was a nonfiction book. There's a nonfiction book in my favorite reads of 2020, you guys. Listen. I listened to this on audiobook, which I think made it more immersive. This is a collection of stories about being an immigrant in the United States, or being a child or grandchild of immigrants in the United States. The stories are, some are funny, some are poignant, some are painful, and they're all fascinating. There's people from all over the globe, from big countries, some small countries, some coming with money, some without. Things about food, things about dealing with the American people, things about the immigration process, things about home, whether home is the United States or it's the country that they or their families came from, things about how their parents or grandparents adjusted or they adjusted, and whether it's to the United States or their or the other country. And it's just absolutely fascinating. There are men, there are women, there are sports stars, there are actors, there are musicians, there are, like I said, politicians, there are activists, and everybody has a great story. One of the surprises was basketball player. I forget his name, but I was just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And then even those in certain professions, they tell a story about the professions they're not in. One of the activists, and her story was about growing up on a basketball team in California, a girls basketball team, and that was interesting. There was nothing not to like about this. I appreciated it. And I think America Ferrera did a very good job in bringing a very amount of stories into this, and letting people tell their stories. The audiobook was not all America Ferrera. She only told her stories. We had other people doing the other parts, some telling their own stories, which added an extra element, but that I enjoyed. And yeah, just I learned a lot and I enjoyed what I read, even the hard parts. So check it out. Last but definitely not least is another Brandon Sanderson book. This is Words of Radiance, book 2 in the Stormlight Archive series. That's right. Book 1 in the Stormlight Archive series I talked about in my least favorite, not my least favorite, my most disappointing books of 2020. But book 2 is one of my favorite books of 2020. How did that happen? It just got so much better. And I didn't hate Way of Kings. I didn't dislike it. I was disappointed that I didn't like it as much as I did, but Words of Radiance came in and saved the day. And I'm like, okay, I love this book. Because I love this book. There's more action in this. There's less depressive episodes in this, which helped. The character I don't hate her anymore. I do very strongly dislike her still, but I don't hate her anymore. So all of that helped to lift this up. Just there was a little bit of a release of burden for everyone, I think, to an extent. So those were my favorite books read in 2020. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you read any of these? What are your thoughts? Give me all the tea. We got 3 fantasies, magical realism, and nonfiction, kind of anecdotal collection of stories So let me know if any of these sound interesting to you. Would you read them or not? And leave me a thumbs up emoji in the comments down below to let me know if you got this far. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you are new. I've got one more end of the year reading video coming, and that is my 2020 reading stats breakdown wrap up overall. But reading videos will continue in 2021. There will be probably bi-monthly, that's 2 a month, reading wrap-ups, because I can never shut up, so one video a month is not enough. My December wrap-up will definitely be coming soon as well, so hit that notification bell so you know when those videos are coming out. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.